Hey, what's going on, guys? You're watching the Pokemon TCG. In today's video, guys, what I got for you, we're going to be taking a look at one of the lists that made top 4 at the Europe Internationals tournament. And the cool thing about this is that I actually saw a post made by the guy who piloted this deck, so I'm able to give some of his input and talk about some of the card selections that he made in this deck. But for the most part, I mean, it's basically just your typical Mew VMAX deck. It just has that slight little twist on it. Yeah, let's just go ahead and hop right into it, guys. So I don't really need to go into too much detail, I guess, because you guys have already seen Mew VMAX a lot of times because it's been such a popular and strong deck since it's come out in the game, and the art on this card looks absolutely awesome. I love it. But yeah, Cross Fusion Strike, it's just going to allow you to copy either Genesect, Meloetta, which is probably going to be like the main attack you're going to be copying is Melodus Echo. And then you can copy Oricorio if that situation comes up. I mean, you can copy that as well. And then just use it as, you know, Mew's attack, and it's just 2 colorless energy, which is really easy to set up. But we also have Max Miracle. It's just going to do 130 and pretty much just bypasses any effect your opponent might have on their active. So if you're facing against like Duraludon, and I think it's Glaceon VMAX, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's VMAX. You can just hit it for 130, which is really nice. I mean, it's just basically you don't auto lose against it. You have some way of fighting back. But we also have Mew V here. I'm just going to talk about one attack on this one because Psychic Leap really is not amazing, and if you're using Psychic Leap, something's probably not going your way. But Energy Mix is just going to allow you to search your deck for an energy card, so you can grab any energy in your deck and attach it to one of your Fusion Strike Pokemon. So you can straight up grab a Fusion Strike energy, you can grab Double Turbo, or you can grab your Psychic energy. So this is just a really good way to kind of set up your Pokemon if you're having like a slowish start. Or if you're just going second, you can just Energy Mix, throw something on your bench. But now we're going to take a look at Meloetta. Almost said Melodus. Blah. There we go. I need a drink of coffee. Hang on a second. Okay, let's hope that makes me not screw up. So yeah, Meloetta has Melodus Echo. It just does 70 for the amount of Fusion Strike energy you have attached to all your Pokemon. And like I said before, this is pretty much going to be the main attack you're going to be copying because it dishes out a lot of damage. I think you can hit like 280 or something like that with this. Yeah, I mean, Meloetta has a couple other purposes along with that. It can also be a secondary attacker that you can either lead with, or you can just send it up after Mew goes down. So yeah, we're going to be running 2 in this deck because, well, you need one sitting on the bench to copy the attack, obviously, and then you might be sending one up to attack with, so, you know, that one might go down because it only has 90 HP, so you have that second one there to throw back on the bench because along with attacking and giving you something to copy, it's also going to allow you to draw an extra card with Genesect V. So Fusion Strike System, I consider Genesect to kind of be the heart and soul of this deck because Fusion Strike System just allows you to plow through so many cards in your deck. It just allows you to draw until you have as many cards in your hand as you do Fusion Strike Pokemon on the field. So if you have 2 or 3 Genesect on the field, you're basically just kind of playing some cards down, drawing, and then if you draw into like Ultra Ball, Quick Ball, Cramomatic, you can just kind of draw some more stuff. You have cards in here that dish stuff out straight from the deck. So Genesect, along with some other cards, you're going to be thinning your deck out so fast and just drawing through a lot of stuff. You don't really even need draw supporters in this deck. The only supporters in this deck really that are usually ever played are Boss and Elisa, whatever, the Sparkle card. We're going to say Sparkle card. And then Technoblast is just a solid 210 that you can copy with Mew in case you just don't have as many Fusion Strike energy on the field as you need, or if you just need to do a solid 210 or just whatever the situation might call for. Technoblast is there to copy. But yeah, Fusion Strike System, straight up the heart and soul of this deck. Next card we're going to take a look at is Oricorio. Basically just makes it to where your opponent's Pokemon do 20 less damage to your Fusion Strike Pokemon. This could really screw with some numbers. And then Glistening Droplets, put 5 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon any way you like. That could be a situation that could come up, you never know. Oricorio does have that attack where you can just kind of hit something for 50 basically, or you can just kind of spread out some damage and set up some knockouts. Who knows? Now, the big card we're going to be taking a look at and kind of the twist on this, and I'll kind of go into detail why he decided on this. So he's got 1 Pumpkaboo with Pumpkin Pit. When you play this Pokemon for your hand onto your bench, during your turn you may discard a stadium and play. And he has 1 Scoop Up Net in here. So essentially what he said was he was just really tired of losing to Path of the Peak or certain decks that were really just locking down, like, you know, abilities and such, and mostly like Arceus decks. So he was like, I'm going to run a Pumpkaboo and then run a Scoop Up Net, and I think he said in one of his matchups it was like the MVP of that game. So Pumpkaboo is just going to allow you to discard their Path of the Peak. You do have 2 Rose Tower in here as well. So essentially, overall, you have 2 Rose Tower, Pumpkaboo, and then Scoop Up Net Pumpkaboo. So that's 4 stadiums in this deck that you can counter right there with just those cards. And it's just going to allow you to basically be able to just use your Genesect for the turn. That's all it is. And then if they don't hit another Path of the Peak or something like that, next turn you have Fusion Strike System again. It just really relies on them getting another Path of the Peak down. So yeah, Pumpkaboo is in here just so that way you can use your Genesect. That's pretty much the gist of it. Or if you just want to get rid of their stadium in general, Pumpkaboo's here. And then the Scoop Up Net, of course, is so you can pick Pumpkaboo up and use Pumpkin Pit again. So that's the Pokemon line. Straight up, you just use Mew VMAX, copy attacks, and then Meloetta is there as a secondary attacker. Genesect there to draw a bunch of cards, and then Oricorio is there to lower some damage, and then Pumpkaboo is there to get rid of those pesky stadiums. Now we're going to kind of talk about the other cards in this deck that are really going to help set it up. Battle VIP Pass. So you can only use it if it's during your first turn. But the cool thing is you have things like Cramomatic, Quick Ball, Ultra Ball. So these are easily cards you can just kind of pitch out of your hand and get rid of. But you search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon, put them on your bench, and then you shuffle your deck. So you can literally just grab like 2 Genesect or just load up your bench turn 1. I've even had games where, not this deck specifically, but other Mew VMAX decks, where I've opened with 2 Battle VIP Pass and you just get like crackhead amounts of draw power on your first turn. But Battle VIP Pass is just a very solid card. And then later on in the game, it's just one of those cards you can easily pitch out with cards like Cramomatic, which just you discard another item card from your hand, flip a coin to Fed, search your deck for anything, which is really good. And then Ultra Ball is another really good card that you can pitch it out with. And then, of course, Quick Ball. So, yeah, you definitely have ways to get rid of Battle VIP Pass, so it's not just sitting there as a dead card. But another thing that makes Genesect so good is we do run Rotom Phone. Yeah, Rotom Phone in here. I almost said Rotom iPhone. You look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and then you choose one of them. And then you shuffle the other cards back in your deck and put that on top of your deck. So you're guaranteeing what you're getting. So if, like, you look and you need, like, a Boss's Orders or you need, I don't know, just anything at all, and you're like, oh, there it is. You can just draw it with Fusion Strike Draw System. All right, so yeah. And then we have a couple switching cards. We have 2 switch along with Escape Rope because, of course, one of the big things is just dragging up Genesect V and just kind of leaving it there. You really need to have those switching cards. Power Tablet is just going to allow you to just hit harder. It just allows your Fusion Strike Pokemon to do 30 more damage. And then we also have Tool Jammer. This is going to be in here to shut down tool cards like Big Charm, Choice Belt, Air Balloon, and then Choice Belt. Speaking of Choice Belt, this is going to let you do 30 more damage. It's really nice. Let's see. And I guess like the big card we need to take a look at that I haven't looked at for some reason is Elisa Sparkle. I can't ever pronounce her name for some reason. I think it's Alessa. I don't know. This chick, Sparkle. Choose up to 2 of your Fusion Strike Pokemon. For each of those Pokemon, search your deck for a Fusion Strike energy card and attach that to Pokemon. Then you shuffle your deck. So that immediately sets up 140 damage with Meloetta. And then even more damage if you have one in your hand. But you can just go Fusion Strike energy, attach one to Meloetta if it's like your first turn and you're going second or something like that. And then you can attach and then maybe throw something down. Like let's say you have Mew on the bench, you'll attach it to your benched Mew. And then right there, boom, turn 1, you are hitting for a crap ton damage, which is really nice. And then Fog Crystal is going to allow you to search for your Mew or your 1 Psychic Energy. And then we have Rose Tower. Once during each player's turn, that player may draw until they have 3 cards in their hand. Believe it or not, you're going to run into that situation quite a bit depending on how your games play out. So Rose Tower, along with being a counter stadium, is just going to be a nice card for you to draw into more. And then maybe afterwards you can start using Fusion Strike System to draw some more cards out of your hand. And then, of course, we have Boss's Orders to drag up Pokemon off the bench and knock those out. And then our energy count, we have 2 double turbo energy in here because you can just throw 1 double turbo onto Mew VMAX and then start copying attacks, which is really, really nice. For Fusion Strike energy, of course, because that is one of the biggest cards in this deck and one of the targets for our Sparkle supporter. And then we have 1 Psychic Energy to round out the deck. I think for the most part that is everything in here. It's a very straightforward Mew VMAX deck, but the thing is we have this Pumpkaboo in here along with 1 Scoop Up Net. So that way we can get rid of those counter stadiums and we can get rid of the big one, which is Path of the Peak, so that way we have a bigger chance of winning some other games against certain decks in here. But I do have a gameplay for you guys. We're going to go ahead and hop into that right now. Congratulations to the gentleman who piloted this deck. I'm having a brain fart on his name right now. Hopefully I remember to put it up on screen. But yeah, if you guys do go on to enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And I'll see you guys in the gameplay. Alright, I'm going to warn y'all. I don't know what it is today, but my chair is on some stuff. So you're going to hear squeaky chair time quite a bit. I'm trying to stay as still as possible. But if you watched my Whimsicott video, you know that I forgot to hit record on one of the gameplays I talked about I didn't get. And you can see the screen. I almost did that again. That's why we started like mid-battle VIP pass or Cram-O-Matic, whatever I did. Whatever I did. But yeah, thankfully I remembered to check. Otherwise, I'd have been very sad. So we were facing a single strike toolbox kind of deck, and I thought this ended up being a pretty good gameplay, and I do plan on streaming soon, so I will play this deck on live stream. So if there's like another gameplay that I get that's really good, I'll upload that as like its own individual video. If it's a deck that I've already covered, I'm just pretty much just going to upload it as like a single gameplay type video. But yeah, this deck has been really fun to play. I have really enjoyed it. It's a very consistent list. I like the Pumpkin Boost switch up on it. I think it's a really cool deck overall. I want to say that I think there are some moments in this video where my opponent just kind of sits there. So yeah, we're gonna see. I hope that I don't have to like go back and like cut out my opponent just sitting there, because for some reason I'm really OCD when it comes to like gameplays where like my opponent sits there and doesn't do anything. I'm like, I don't know if people want to watch that or what they want to do. That, I don't feel like I'm that entertaining to sit here and try to talk to you guys for 20 minutes afterwards, because I don't know. I'm a very boring dude, okay? I'm so boring. I go to work, I come home, I take a nap with my dog, I play video games, and then I go back to work. Like that's literally all I do. Like that's my life. But I got my coffee. You probably saw me taking a drink of it in the game or the deck profile portion of this video. I kept yawning for some reason in one of my freaking recordings. I yawned like 4 times and just said, all right, we're not uploading this part. So I redid it. My opponent is getting a very strong start, as you can see. He's got a couple Houndour down. He's got a Seviper and then a Morpeko. And immediately I'm like, okay, if it's a dark type Pokemon, we just need to get rid of that immediately. Because that's going to be bad. I don't know. Hopefully you did not just hear my air conditioner kick on in the background. I'm trying to see if I can record while my air conditioner's going and you guys don't hear what sounds like a tornado going on behind me. Hopefully it doesn't sound that bad. So right there, I'm just checking out Seviper, because I remember Seviper can dish out a pretty solid amount of damage for basically nothing. I mean, like, you just kind of get it going and it's like bam, because single strike Pokemon, gosh, they hit hard. So out there, I'm utilizing Pumpkaboo. I'm like, you know, I can pick it up later. I have Scoop Up Net, and I really considered hitting or putting that Meloetta down. I kind of wish I did. So right here, I'm like, all right, what do I want to put up? I'm just going to attach the Tool Jammer to my Meloetta just in case my opponent tries to Air Balloon. And yeah. And basically that decision right there, I was like, you know, Oricorio is going to be nice, but at the same time, they're hitting for so much damage anyway that it might not matter, especially if they have dark Pokemon, so, you know. And I'm immediately, like, just sad because I didn't get what I wanted. Thankfully, though, Cram-O-Matic coming into play there, helping me out, so now I'm like, oh, man, my Psychic Energy is not in the deck. It is prized. That sucks, so I have to throw down 2 Fusion Strike Energy on this Meloetta. I hate doing that. I hate having 2 Fusion Strike Energy, or yeah, energy on one Pokemon. And of course, because Fate hates me, it gives me the Psychic Energy as my prize. But I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are staying safe out there in the world. I just came off of a mental health day. Yesterday, I took a complete day to basically just focus on me. You know, I needed that. I didn't worry about anything at all. I just kind of kicked responsibility to the side for the day. And man, it was nice. It's much needed. I cannot recommend that enough. If you're struggling at all with just mental exhaustion, or you're struggling at all just trying to get through the day, I really recommend just taking a day, kind of having it to yourself, because you definitely deserve one. I gotta sneeze. There it is. All right, yeehaw, I'm back. So my opponent promotes Morpeko, and Because of the predicament I'm in, I have a 90 HP Pokemon with 2 Fusion Strike energy. I'm gonna be honest with you, I was kind of sweating bullets here. Man, coffee. I love being old. Because, well, it doesn't take much to knock out this Meloetta. I'm down 2 Fusion Strike energy that I can't get back. And that just really limits kind of what I can do throughout the game. Because I don't know what my opponent has in this deck. I don't know what they're going to slap down. If they slap down an Umbreon V at any point, I was just going to cry and just kind of accept it. But we see my opponent is using that Mew from Celebrations. I think that's what it is. Whatever. If I get the set wrong, you get the set wrong. I don't care. Anyway, so we have the Mew that's kind of like Jirachi. And then we see Stonejourner, we see Seviper, Morpeko. So my opponent's got like a really cool little toolbox deck going. So I'm just going to boss up that Seviper because I don't want to deal with that thing. I just don't want to deal with it. I decided to attach a double turbo there to Mew, just kind of have 2 secondary attackers going. And then Fusion Strike system doesn't give me too much. Mew VMAX decided it wanted to be shy this game and kind of hang out in the deck for a while. But I'm going to take another knockout there. So I'm up 2 prizes, which is not too bad. I needed to try to take as many knockouts as I could before my opponent started hitting me back, because even with just 1 knockout on my Mew, I mean, that's 2 to 3 prizes depending on if I evolved it yet or not. So I needed to try to take as many prizes as I could. But I am working on some videos for you guys. I'm trying to get some more stuff going. I have 1 deck that's done, and then I have another deck I'm working on. Yeah, I want to do some more deck profiles. I feel like I haven't done deck profiles very much lately. But the issue is they keep releasing all these cool products that I want to do videos on. And I'm supposed to be getting with some friends soon to record some other stuff, which I'm excited about. So, man, there's a lot of cool videos coming, guys. There is a lot of stuff that we're working on behind the scenes. And I'm definitely very excited for it. It's going to be a lot of editing, but it's fine. I want to try to get to 1,500 subscribers before the end of this year. That's the goal. I am like 51 away from 1,500, which is really cool. So, you know, hey. Up next is the big 2,000. We can hit 2,000. That would be freaking insane. But, you know, hey, that's way down the line. You know, we still have a few hundred subscribers to go. So my opponent right here is going to boss up my Genesect. I'm kind of sad about that. That is a very popular play against this deck. If you're getting mollywopped by Mew VMAX, you just boss up a Genesect and kind of just hope they don't have a switching card. So that way you can kind of get something set up and then focus on taking down either a Mew VMAX or just trying to remove some energy off the field in general. So yeah. But also my opponent does get access to their air balloon again because my Meloetta had that tool jammer on it. But we do see a second air balloon going down onto that Houndour and then a Urn of Vitality. And my opponent is going to utilize my Rose Tower to get 3 cards. But thankfully, they've already used their supporter for the turn. But we do see a Quick Ball discarding another Rainbow. Giovanni's Boss. Had to check it out. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, I think we have the new set coming here pretty soon as well. So that'll be some more content for you guys to watch. I already know kind of what I want to build from that set that I'm pretty excited about. But my opponent just promotes the Morpeko and passes. So right here, I have some decisions to make. I have some decisions that I don't want to make, but I kind of have to. We see I have no Fusion Strike energy left in the deck. That's nice. So I just decided to attach the Psychic energy. I was going to bite the bullet, and I was just going to Fusion Strike energy to the Genesect, attach a Psychic, and then retreat. But thankfully, I didn't get it. So I didn't get too much there. I just unfortunately have to pass to my opponent. That definitely sucks. Mew VMAX has not shown itself yet. I've got a double turbo, and then I have a Fusion Strike and a Psychic on my other Mew. See, a Karen's Conviction, so my opponent is going to be hitting for even more damage this turn. And if they're able to knock out any of my V Pokemon, we're going to be deadlocked in prizes, which is going to put me in a bad situation because they're only giving up 1 prize where I'm giving up multiple per turn every time they knock something out. So I'm definitely in a predicament here. But we see a Fusion Strike roar onto that Morpeko. So it's going to be doing more damage along with the Karen's Conviction. Going to hit me for 120. So now I just have something that can be bossed up at any point, or if it's just trapped up in the active spot, it's going to get knocked out. Thankfully, though, I do get an escape rope off my Rotom Phone. So now all I have to do is just kind of burn a card, Fusion Strike system, and guarantee that escape rope to my hand. Really, really nice. I love Rotom Phone in Mew VMAX. It's such a good card, especially paired up with Genesect. So there we go, guys. My 1 card is the escape rope I needed. So now my opponent is going to be stuck promoting something up in the active spot, maybe that they don't want to promote, because it just kind of seems like every card on their field, aside from the Morpeko, is kind of valuable. So it just decides to promote the Mew. I decide just to promote the Meloetta since that's been kind of carrying me so far. Meloetta kind of carried me most of this game, I'll be honest. And finally, we see Mew VMAX. And I'm just going to take out that Morpeko. I'm not dealing with it. I don't feel like getting hit by weakness, okay? Because that is just stupid. Weakness is dumb. Not really, but when you're on the other end of it, it's dumb, right? So there we go. I'm up 3 prizes. I'm feeling pretty good. So now it just kind of depends on what my opponent wants to promote here. So we see the Stonejourner. I kind of expected this to happen at some point. That's why I was trying to get around the fact that I had 2 Fusion Strike energies on Meloetta. And now I'm going to be kind of relying on Max Miracle, or I'm going to be relying on Techno Blast. So yeah, that's the situation I'm kind of in now. But the good thing is, I knew that anyway. If my opponent was only running single prize attackers, you know, that was going to be just enough to get some KOs. If my opponent did play down a V or something like that, then, you know, I just had to accept that happened. God, I love that Houndoom art. That Houndoom art is just beautiful. Oh, it's so beautiful. God, I love it. Dude, Brilliant Stars, man, they had some arts in them. Some of the arts in Brilliant Stars, like, that is probably, like, my favorite set to open, I think. Like, aside from, like, some of the stuff that I had when I first started playing Pokemon, if you hand me, like, a Majestic Dawn pack or something like that to tell me to open, I'm probably going to, like, get all giddy, but, yeah. Brilliant Stars is definitely, like, recently, I think, like, my favorite set to open. Because it's like, if you get, like, 10 packs, you get some pretty cool stuff, I think. So right there, my opponent is going to take down my Meloetta, hitting it for the hot 150. But my opponent did put themselves in a situation similar to mine. They have 3 single strike energies. However, there's no, like, fusion urn of vitality or something like that for fusion strike Pokemon. So I kind of have this Fusion Strike energy just kind of chilling and hanging out. So I don't really know what to do with it because I already have double turbo. And I just decide to throw it on the Mew because why not, right? And so I decided to go ahead and use the counter stadium there. And now we're going to go ahead and just kind of Fusion Strike system, get some crackhead draw. I do get the scoop up net. It's not going to hold on to that Pumpkaboo just in case my opponent does play another Tower of Darkness down. And right here, I'm just trying to figure out, like, what the heck do I do? So obviously, I'm not as good of a player as the guy that made top 4 with it. There is no way in hell I could ever get to that position. I don't think anyway. Top 4 in a large tournament like that. So obviously, I'm probably making some boo-boos and playing it completely different than he would. But yeah, props to him, man. That is awesome, dude. Making it that far in a tournament is definitely not easy and something that he should be very proud of. So right there, I just go ahead and guarantee myself to switch to my hand just in case my opponent does try to boss up something again. And I go ahead and just take down this Stonejourner. So now my opponent is down 3 single strike energies, so they're going to have to get 2 Urn of Vitality to get all 3 of those back. I'm setting at 2 prizes to 5. I'm feeling pretty okay. And at this point, I figured if my opponent is running Umbreon, I would have seen it by now. That's the big thing that I kept telling myself. If my opponent had Umbreon, I would have seen it. So we do see that Urn of Vitality was putting some cards back into the deck. So now my opponent has access to 2 single strike energy. And we're going to see Mew's ability grabbing my opponent a card. He does get a Quick Ball. And I'm pretty sure when I was playing this game, I was playing Pokemon Go. I think I was playing the Stuffle Community Day. I was. Okay, yeah. So I had like hockey going on, I think. And then I had Pokemon Go. I was doing this, listening to music. My ADD was probably going insane. So we see Fusion Strike Roar. We see another Morpeko. I'm going to be honest with you. I got kind of depressed when I saw that. I saw that Morpeko go down. I'm like, oh no. And my opponent is loading up this Morpeko because, yeah, Mew's about to take it deep, baby. See a beautiful Pokegear for the Professor's Research. I love that Professor's Research. I found that at a event I went to recently, and that vendor had 4 of them. Immediately bought them. I bought all 4 of those. That was an impulse buy. spent a lot of money at that event. But we see my opponent is just making his field pretty with all those gorgeous Houndoom. And then my opponent just has Stonejourner, just kind of hanging out and chilling. I don't know why. Stonejourner just makes me smile. It's one of those Pokemon that just, like, I look at it and I just smile when I see it. Because I'm like, what the heck is that supposed to be, dude? I think Stonejourner and Beware are those Pokemon that I just look at and I'm like, what were y'all thinking? And I just realized that Stuffle has a tag on the back of it. I think it's a tag. But anyway, on Pokemon Go, if you like rotate it, it looks like there's a tag sticking out of its butt. I thought it was a little... I didn't know what it was when I first saw it, but yeah. And then it dawned on me that Stuffle's a teddy bear, and I felt like an idiot. I'm going off on a completely different tangent right now, and I need to be focusing on the gameplay. Alright, so we see Fusion Strike Roar going down again, attaching to that Stonejourner. So now my opponent has Stonejourner and Morpeko pretty much ready to go to attack. And we see the one shot exactly 320 taking out my Mew VMAX. And my opponent ties up the game. This sucks. This sucks so bad. One knockout and the game is completely tied. Single strike Pokemon are pretty good, man. Alright, so I just decide to play the Fog Crystal here. And for some reason, I played that Fog Crystal when I should have used it for Cramomatic. I don't know what the hell I was doing there. Yeah, I need to really pay attention when I'm playing games too. I don't know why I did that. I should have held on to that switch. But at the same time, if my opponent does boss up that Genesect and hits it, I mean, it doesn't really matter, does it? So I have all 4 Genesect on the field because I need to pull a Mew VMAX out of my keister here. And I was like, I got 9 cards left in my deck. Surely, at some point, surely I can do this. And I do have the double turbo just in case I need to retreat or anything. And so I'm going to hang on to that in case my opponent tries to stall me out with another Genesect pull up. I take the knockout, down to 1 prize. And now I got to hope that my opponent doesn't somehow set up another Morpeko and then knock me out again. So yeah, that was the situation I was put with. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of different scenarios here that could play out. My opponent can drag up Genesect, knock it out, or my opponent can set up a Morpeko somehow and take me out there. But my opponent just concedes. And that is the end of the gameplay, guys. So I wanted to end the video by saying congratulations to, I'm going to call you Matt because there's no way I can pronounce your name. But yeah, I just want to say congratulations, man, on making top 4 at the Europe Internationals tournament. You'll probably never see this, but I just want to say congratulations to you. And I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And I highly recommend going out and checking the past live stream from the Internationals event. It was a lot of fun to watch some IRL Pokemon again. And hopefully, here in the near future, I can go to an event like that because, man, it's been way too long, and it's awesome to see IRL Pokemon events coming back. And hopefully, we can start getting past all the bullcrap that we've dealt with the last couple years and start getting back to having fun, seeing our friends again, and having a blast. But thank you guys all so much for the amazing support. I am very thankful for you guys. Take care. I love you. And as always, guys, this is Epic Pokemon TCG, signing out.
Don't forget to like, follow, and obey.